this is literally the first Audible Thinking podcast of this year. I didn't do a lot of them last year for a few reasons. One, they took a very long time to do. And there was a lot of spectacular atmospheric backgrounds and things like that. And this year I wanted to step it up with more background storytelling and things like that. But man, it's exhausting. It is very exhausting. I had some things in place. And while thinking up those ideas, I came to the realization that, man, I don't have the time or the energy to make those. So I do apologize for the lack of creativity in this podcast, but I do plan on doing a few little interesting things, but just not to the scale of what I did. Because like I said, it takes a lot of resources and time. I did plan to do a lot of collabs this year, and it's just for several reasons those won't work out. But mostly because it just takes a lot of time and energy, and I want to be able to get content out to you guys, man. Like, I've been streaming a whole lot. If you don't know that I stream on Twitch, Audible_gaming. I stream on Twitch a lot. That's where most of my content is right now. So again, I do apologize for not putting out a lot of episodes. With a child that's quickly growing and the family I'm taking care of and job, stuff and overtime, it takes a minute to formulate my words, think about what I'm going to say, and actually put out content that you guys would enjoy. So again, if you enjoyed those things, I do apologize. I just don't know if this season would be the right season for it, just because of the amount of things that I have to take care of on a daily basis. So this is a very low-key, well, not low-key, but laid-back podcast today. I am currently sitting in my office with a cast on my arm, my right arm, because I had surgery yesterday. So I'm sitting at home, chilling, and I thought that I would create a quick podcast because I'm, I don't have nothing else to do. I'm propped up. My arm's propped up on a few pillows, and I can't game because my arm is completely numb from the block that they used yesterday. I can barely move my fingers, and I couldn't do that last night. And I can move my arm barely. But everything's tingling and numb still, and I'm using my left hand to use my mouse. So, yeah, stuff is going to be moving pretty slow for me, at least as far as streaming goes. But I felt like this would be a good opportunity to make some Audible content, and possibly to make a few videos. So I figured I'd do that. So, thinking about topics, I didn't really have a topic set up or list in mind, but I did want to talk about a few things. And the first thing that came to mind, my phone. The first thing that came to mind is the Alton fee. I wanted to discuss that because a lot of people, I don't want people thinking that I have this hatred towards Disrespected Podcast to something. I don't want people thinking that because all that is literally jokes. I'm not kidding. It's all jokes. And I've talked to Alton and them behind the scenes and just reassured them and let them know, like, hey, we respect y'all so much. And we do. And I'm gonna use this time to kind of give them their flowers too. But guys, we respect Disrespected Podcast so much, man. They are they're a special group. And when I say us, I mean the troubleshooters. Like, we talk about them like in a good way. I mean, we joke and stuff like that a lot. But at the end of the day, we respect them a lot. And like I said, I've talked to Alton several times behind the scenes and said, look, we cool. We doesn't. There's no kind of that Alton Feed stuff was just it was just a way to pick at them. If you're not knowing what I'm talking about, let me back up and just tell the story. Okay. Long story short, and I've said this before, but long story short, they challenged us, their Discord, challenged our Discord to a Call of Duty challenge. Okay. Call of Duty. And they told us, or Alton told us, I told Erica's for the win, shout out to her, that they hardly play and that it will be an even match. And let's play. We want to challenge your Discord. They said, and this is key, they said that they hardly play and they were not good at Call of Duty. Okay. And Erica accepted, and we all agreed to we're friends, so we decided to support Erica in this in this challenge. I mean, it was a Discord challenge, so it was a Yike Squad challenge, I guess you could say. So we get together. We didn't play for a few months after that. I think we were playing Gears a lot, and we weren't necessarily ducking, but I think I don't know why we didn't play. Maybe we were ducking. I don't know, but we didn't play for a while. I think most of that was because we didn't play COD at all, right? And all during this time, they were saying, "Oh, y'all not gonna play us? What's going on with this challenge? Y'all not gonna, you gonna play us? What's going on? How come y'all not playing with us? You know what I'm saying? Like, when we're doing this challenge." And we kind of said, "Hey, we're trying to, we need to practice and all this type of stuff." We didn't practice, but we were playing Gears at the time, and we just kind of put it off. And they kind of, every once in a while they would inquire, like, "Hey, when y'all doing this? Come on now, when y'all doing this challenge? When we playing all this stuff, And like I said, this went on for a few months. So just to reiterate and clarify, when I say they, Disrespected Podcast, Alton and them were, asking, "Hey, when are we going to play?" Right. And I think they may not have played for, I'm not sure what the time frame was and what they were doing at the time. They may not have been playing COD at the time. But they were still asking us if we wanted to play them in this challenge after they challenged us, right? They wanted this challenge. So fast forward, the day for this challenge finally came. We finally agreed to a date. And we quickly gathered a team. I believe it was Erica, Vic, Ricky, Frogs, Merc, and myself. I think that's how it went. And we practiced for a couple games before the the match actually started, or the challenge actually started. Vic is really good at Call of Duty, which is why we chose him, because none of us really played Call of Duty like that. We were playing Gears, and Vic's a homie, so we invited him. He's not necessarily a troubleshooter, but he's part of the Discord, and it was a Discord challenge. So, we decided just to invite him along to play with us on our team. We had no clue who Alton and them were going to bring. We didn't, we were in their Discord, but we didn't, their Discord's pretty large, so we didn't necessarily know who he was going to bring. And so we get together and we play a few rounds before this challenge, and then we have this challenge. And then we get in the lobby with them, and Alton's team was getting together. They were picking the maps to begin with. I think we were alternating like who could pick what map. And I think that they went first, but they were hosting the match, if that makes sense. So if we wanted to pick a match, they were hosting. They were basically, choosing the maps for us and stuff like that, which we were cool with. We were fine with that. So first match, and I can't remember how the matches went, to be honest with you. I know that they won most of them, if not all of them. I think we may have won once, but they were really sweaty. I can say that. And the reason I know that is because they posted this challenge on YouTube. So I got to see their side of it. And I've played with them after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So this particular challenge, they were kind of sweaty, because when I played with them, they were laughing and goofing off, but this challenge, they were so serious, man. And we're not that bad as far as the troubleshooters go. We're not that bad at games. And Vic is especially really good at Call of Duty. And the matches themselves were kind of close. It wasn't like this. I think there may have been a few matches where it was a big gap, but there were a good few games where we came close to winning. But what was interesting about those games is that the ping, we had a disparity in ping and in connection, and we really didn't know that until like the last game or two, but we felt lag. I know I did, and Vic commented on that as well. And Vic is before we started playing these games with them, Vic was going like 34 and like 2. Like he was really ripping into these teams. But by the time we started playing the challenge, he was breaking even, which kind of says a few things. It's kind of strange. We expect Vic to kind of, and I'm not saying that Disrespected Podcast is a bad team, because listen, they are really good. They are really good, because I've played with them, and they don't. Even goofing around, like they're good. They're really good. But Vic is on that kind of level too. And so I don't know if they were locking Vic up, clamping him down. I don't know what they were doing with Vic, but Vic wasn't doing so hot. So if Vic wasn't doing so hot, the rest of us weren't doing that good. But it goes back to the ping thing, because we felt we felt that connection issue, and I don't know, we thought maybe it was just the game, and it was. But by the time we got done with the challenge, we kind of made a comment about it, and apparently there was a way for that to not be a thing. And Alton and them for some reason knew about that. Like we could have played a different way where that wouldn't have been an issue. I don't know why we didn't start off like that, because we took a screenshot of the ping disparity, and we did have a worse connection than they did. I don't know if it was because they were hosting or what, but that was a thing. Okay. And again, like I said, there were a few games, or even the majority of the games, where we came close. So if that ping disparity wasn't there, there's no telling how many games we actually would have won, right? All that being said, we took that as, jokingly, we took that as Disrespected Podcast kind of duped us. Oh, and also there was they for some reason they had an issue where someone couldn't play, and they subbed this person out for, I believe it was Alton's cousin. And interestingly enough, this person was the best player on their team this whole challenge. Like, the heat was going off. And I thought it was interesting that they subbed. So your sub is the best player on your team. Like, he was bananas. But all that to say, okay, none of this, I don't know if they didn't really mean for any of this stuff to happen. Like, it's just a set of circumstances that came into play that they didn't really mean to happen. The only thing I can say that they said that they never played or that they weren't good. Listen, these guys are really good at COD. They cannot say that they're not good at COD. That's one thing. But all that being said, we took that and we kind of ran with it. Like, we took that whole challenge and we kind of just even it was a joke. It became like a meme for us, for the troubleshooters, because it was just funny. And we just kind of said, hey man, Disrespected Podcast kind of tricked us. You know, they duped us. But you know, we say all that, but it's all love. Like, it has never been a thing where we hated them or that we didn't like them or anything like that. We actually respect them a lot, a whole lot. They support us. They support other people in the community. They're nice. And what's funny about the Disrespected Podcast is that every member of I'm gonna say DSP, well, not DSP, let's say DP. Every member of DP they're just nice guys. Like, every one of them are just nice dudes. Like, they're just a nice group of dudes. Like, they're the nicest people. And it kind of kills me that they call themselves the Disrespected Podcast, because they are so respectful. Like, it's weird, man. Like, I don't know. Oh, I remember now. I remember that they there's a whole story behind that. I don't know if they want me to share that or not, but I know why they're called the Disrespected Podcast. It's not related to them being disrespectful to the community, but it's for another reason. But all that being said, They are the nicest guys, man. Like we appreciate them a lot. And but we just joke with them. That whole Alton Feed stuff is just a joke. It's a joke. That we just, we pick at them about that. So all that being said, the Alton Feed stuff, the Alton Feed we came up with because after that challenge, we had a few challenges, similar challenges where people challenged us, and then somehow or another, we got tore up every time. Like, people would challenge us and then bring people that they knew were good at the game and then just like whoop us. And so we just said, you know what? We love y'all, but y'all gonna have to pay. If y'all want to challenge us, y'all not gonna have to pay for entry. $5 or a sub per troubleshooter. That's the fee. So we call it the Alton Feed as a joke. And ironically, I don't know. We call it a joke, but man, listen, we ain't trying to do these challenges and just get demolished by random folks. So we might just have to slow it down on the challenges or make their fee. Either way. But this community, we're jokes, man. We just like to have fun, and I don't know, man. We just like to have fun and joke around and be sarcastic and stuff. But shout out to the Disrespected Podcast, man. Like I said, we respect them a whole lot, man, and they deserve all the respect. Please go follow them on all the platforms, and they stream and do a podcast every week. So head on over to Twitch, give them a follow, give all the members a follow. But yeah, I say all that to say, ultimately, that we respect them a whole lot. And like I said before, they do so much for the community, the gaming community. They're entertaining, really good at games. We just like them a lot. I know that as the troubleshooters, we like them a lot. So shout out to them, man. Okay, so next topic I want to talk about is let's talk about console wars. Let's talk about that. I don't know why we are so defensive over games. We get so mad over video games. And if someone says something about our game of choice or our platform of choice, we get so defensive. It's almost like politics. It's almost like Democrats and Republicans. It's the same thing. And at the end of the day, they're all games. They're all just games. And this isn't something new. I mean, it's been going on since, I don't know, Sega and Nintendo. It's been going on for a while. PlayStation and N64, I think that was a thing. And now it's pretty much PlayStation and Xbox. And now PC is being thrown in the mix too. It's a complex. And I think people have a lot of fun with that. I think people enjoy just having that back and forth about, different games and stuff like that. But some people take this very seriously. To the point where they like smash their monitors and their desk and, take consoles outside and trash them, destroy them, stuff like that. Throw them in bathtubs, throw them in lakes, let the dogs eat them. Like, the people get really, really defensive about whatever console or platform that's opposite quote unquote, of their platform of choice. Listen, as a poor person, let me just say that you can give your console, if you don't want or like a specific console and you have it and you want to get rid of it, please donate it. Please donate it or sell it. Please just don't destroy it, number one. Because you're doing two disservices. You're doing a disservice to yourself because you paid money for that console. And two, you're doing a disservice to somebody who actually wants that console by not selling it or giving it away, in the very least. But don't take it outside and take a hammer to it, because somebody would actually like to to play that console, like myself. But yeah, I think I think if there is a gaming disorder, I think that's the gaming disorder. I don't think it has anything to do with how much we play games. I mean, yes, there are some people that play games entirely too much. You can do that. It is possible to play games so much where it affects your health. But I think if there is a disorder, it's this console war extremism. CWE. I think that is the disorder, if we were to name a disorder. I've seen people pull out weapons, pull out pistols about this console stuff. And I just don't get it. I guess because I come from a place where my choice of platform was based off of whatever I got for Christmas or whatever I saw on TV, as an advertisement. Mario and all that stuff. The only thing I had to look at were like magazines that came in the mail with games in them, or like TV commercials. But I didn't really have a preference. My platform depended on what game was coming out that looked cool, or whatever game everybody was talking about at school. And a lot of those games came on both of the platforms. Mortal Kombat, not Mario, but and then Sonic was on Sega. But, if there's a game I really wanted, I just bought the platform and played the game. It wasn't a thing to me about, what was better, what platform was better. If I wanted to play that game, I just asked for it for Christmas or something like that. But I had to be really careful because I couldn't own so many different consoles and games. I wasn't that type of kid. Like, if I got a console, I had to play most of my games on that console. And if I wanted a different game, I just had to hope and pray I could get it for Christmas. If I wanted a different console, I rented a lot of my games, and a lot of times, embarrassingly, I looked at the cover art to see if I was going to like that game. And Halo was one of those games that I looked at the cover art and was like, nah, I'll pass. I did that for a while. And that's a story for another time, but I didn't play Halo until I got with my friends and had a LAN party. So my first Halo experience was at a LAN party, and I fell in love with it ever since. That's a short story to that. But anyway, back to this console war stuff. Like, listen, I get it. It's fun to have a back and forth with people about your platform of choice. Where you're getting into trouble is when you decide to hurt other people. with words, with actions. When you decide to go out of your way to disown or discredit someone because of their preference, that's where the problem lies. And yes, I know people joke about it and stuff like that, and it's fun to go back and forth. But some people get so obsessed with this that they take it to the extreme, even to the point where they become delusional about certain things, about their platform, about the other platform, and it's just really strange. Like, it's almost as if some people act out of character, and I don't know, if you find yourself just constantly on Twitter talking about your platform or somebody else's platform, and that's all you do, maybe take a step back and just evaluate that. Maybe evaluate that, because this is the thing. Consoles and games are for playing. They're for playing. The reason we have consoles and games is to play them and have a good time. If there's a game that you don't like, you don't have to play it. If there's a game that you do like, just play it. Even if the Metacritic score is a 78, if you think that game is good or looks good, play it. Don't pay attention to the Metacritic. So that's one thing that I've stopped doing, is that I've stopped looking at the Metacritic score. I don't pay attention to it, because you gatekeep yourself from really good games that you might like just based off of what somebody else says. Don't let other people dictate what games you play. Just play the game that you want to play. You don't have to listen to influencers or people talking about certain games. Yes, it's good to get an idea from other people. I mean, it's good to get an understanding of where that game lies as far as the community goes. But at the end of the day, the most important opinion about a game is your own. Judge the game based off of how it looks. Maybe even if you have Game Pass, and if it's on Game Pass, just try it out. And if you don't like it, just uninstall it. But in the very least, just make sure that your opinion matters the most to you, and go from there. But I would advise, no shots at Metacritic. Like, I think that's a valuable tool, and I'm glad that it's available for people to look at, especially with reviews. It's good to get good feedback. But a lot of those people, or I won't say a lot, but a good amount of those people on Metacritic really go there to bomb the game. Like, they just say it's trash, blah, 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 blah. They give it a low score, 1 star, just because they just don't like that platform. Which is going back to the CWE, just play games. Do your own review. Play the game, do your own review. And even if it's just you that reads the review, just put it out there. You're a content creator now. Put out your own review and give your own score, and make it a very genuine score. Make it a very genuine review. How did you really feel about this game? Where were the pros? Where were the cons? Where did it excel? Where did it lack? And maybe, just maybe, some other people will gravitate to what you have to say as well. And really getting honest feedback on what you have to say about said game. But the worst thing you can do is not play the game, then go on Twitter and say how trash the game is. That's the worst thing you can do. And even worse, not play any games and talk about every game and every platform and trash it without even having played it. Or spend more time complaining about games than playing games. That's the worst thing you can do. But with that being said, I do joke about Psychonauts. I call it Psychonauts. I haven't played it, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, you just trash a game, not play the game. But listen, the Psychonaut thing is a meme. Like, we just started saying that while we were playing Halo one night, and it was funny. It's not as funny now because it's kind of worn off. The joke is kind of old, but the game looks good. Psychonauts, because I keep calling it Psychonauts. Psychonauts 2 looks really good. I think you should play it, and I do plan on playing it myself. Like, I think it looks cool. I watched it last night, actually, a good majority of it, and it looks like a cool game. It looks like a mixture between Kingdom Hearts, Mario, maybe Kingdom Hearts and Mario. Maybe that's a good mix. And Ratchet and Clank. It's like Mario, Ratchet and Clank, and Kingdom Hearts wrapped into one. And look, it looks good. So if you see me talk about Psychonauts, please don't think that I don't like the game. I'm just joking. Like, I really think that game looks good. It's one of those jokes that kind of came out of the troubleshooters. Okay, so let me say this. We joke a lot in the troubleshooters. We joke a whole lot. And we're sarcastic. We make jokes on each other. And, we kind of make jokes about ourselves. And some of that bleeds over into the content, right? So that's what this is. We had a play session. We started talking about Psychonauts, and the Psychonauts thing came out. It just became a meme. But all that being said, I think that game looks phenomenal. And even more so now, I think that the game looks good because I've actually sat down and watched some of the gameplay, and it looks really interesting. And I do want to play it. So shout out to Melodic. Shout out to Kev. The game looks really good. And I don't want you guys thinking that I think the game is bad simply because of, I don't know, simply because it looks bad or something like that, because it actually looks good to me. So anyway, back to the console war stuff. I think ultimately, like I said before, just play games, man. Enjoy life. Enjoy life and enjoy games. Maybe buy both platforms if you can. Don't throw anything out. Don't frisbee throw, just if you really don't like it, just keep it in the closet, because there may be something that comes across that you may like. If you're an Xbox fan and you only like Xbox, you hate PlayStation and all that, when God of War comes out, man, get that PlayStation out and play God of War, man. Play God of War. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? If you got a PlayStation and you haven't played Ratchet and Clank, and you're an Xbox fan, man, get out the PlayStation, play Ratchet and Clank. Man, play that game. Play Demon's Souls. Please play Demon's Souls. You know what I mean? If you're a PlayStation fan and you only like PlayStation games, but you own a Series X or a Series S or a PC, man, play Halo. Play Halo Infinite, please. You know what I mean? all these exclusives that they're about to drop, please play some of them. I don't know what they're going to drop. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what Xbox. I know they got quite a few games. They got like, your typical Forza. I know Fable's coming out at some point. They got the Bethesda acquisition exclusivity. They got a lot of exclusives now. So a lot of those games that you could play on PlayStation before may not be on PlayStation, for long. It may be on Xbox. So that's good. That's a good reason to kind of invest in it, at least in the PC. So anyway, just play games. Play and enjoy the games. All the games. Please. Speaking of Halo Infinite, let's jump into Halo Infinite because I do plan on doing a video on that. And I gotta honestly say that that's probably the game that I'm hyped for the most. Now I'm sitting here with a freshly operated hand that's completely numb. My arm is completely numb. I can't play a thing. And the Halo flight is this weekend and next weekend. I probably won't be able to play either one. But I will be doing reactions to some of the content, hopefully. And so I just wanted to touch base on, or to give some reactions to not only the flight from this week, but also the one that was a few months back. The first flight itself really calmed my nerves about Halo Infinite, because I was kind of worried about the development of that game initially and the amount of turnover that seemed to be within the studio, as far as senior execs and stuff like that they were hiring late in the the development of the game. I was kind of worried, but the gameplay from the flight was very good. I love the feel of the guns, the heaviness of the guns, the look, the sound, the atmosphere of each map was very clean. But what impressed me the most was the time to kill and the quickness of the game. The flow of the game was really good. And it's kind of Call of Duty-ish as far as the flow, which is, what they've been going for. They've been trying to incorporate new game mechanics while trying to pay homage to the older versions of Halo. They want to onboard newer players, but also keep the Halo aesthetic that we know and love, and the mechanics from previous Halos that we know and love intact in this conglomeration of Halo goodness that's about to drop. But with all that being said, I am on pins and needles about Halo Infinite. I really want it to be good. I really want it to be good because it looks phenomenal. It plays phenomenal. And it looks like they are paying a lot of attention to the multiplayer. I still don't know about the co-op. Co-op seems a little shaky. Not the co-op, but the campaign. I'm sorry. Campaign development may be still in the works, which it is. And they have delayed the release of co-op for that. But campaign will be on launch. And I think it's because they just didn't know how to incorporate co-op in the open world game. They didn't know how to tether, if they should tether players together, that sort of thing. And I understand that. I understand that it would be difficult to tether players in the open world when they're trying to tell a story. You know what I mean? It's better for you to play it that alone, I guess, than it is to have two people. It's just weird. It's weird. I don't know how they're going to fix that or compensate for that, which I'm sure that they're trying to figure out now, which is why they delayed the game entirely, but delayed co-op as well. But anyway, I am more excited about the multiplayer than I am the campaign, to be honest with you. And since they're paying so much attention to the multiplayer, I think that's going to be insanely good. I'm not too worried about the multiplayer. And I'm very excited about it, and I hope you guys pick that up as well. Free on Game Pass, you know what I mean? So please pick it up or get Game Pass and download it. The flight is this week for the second one, the second flight rather, and they're introducing Big Team Battle and some more mechanics like training and stuff like that. New maps as well. So if you haven't yet already, go to halowaypoint.com, sign up for the insider to get the invite to play. They are sending out invites still, I believe, so that way you can try out the game. If you have a PC or Xbox console, even if you got an Xbox One, just try it out. Try out the game, see how you like it. It's a good way to demo it, but it is an alpha. It's pre-alpha still. So don't make all your judgment based off of this this version of the game, because they're still working on it. It's not even in beta form. It's still highly in development. So just keep that in mind as you play the game. If you play the flight, it is a flight. It's not indicative of the actual game. And a lot of people make that mistake. A lot of people use that as fuel for console warring. And don't do that, because you look stupid if you do that. I'm just gonna say that if you're using a pre-alpha content to use as ammunition in the console war, you just don't do that. Don't do that. You make yourself kind of look dumb if you do that. But with that being said, some people like that. Some people like hearing that. So it is what it is, man. I can't tell you what to do. I can just ask you not to. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I just want to see us come together as a community. And I've seen that a lot. I've seen that too. It's, our community is not all that bad. I've seen people come together. Shout out to Buro. He was recently involved in an accident, and I'm sending good vibes and praying for that man. He was involved in a really bad accident, actually, and he's in the hospital. So y'all send y'all love to Buro Baracho, because he really needs it. And with that being said, I saw the community come together. A lot of people in the community come together and just wish him well. And that's who we truly are. We truly are a community that cares about each other. And regardless of whatever platform that we prefer, I think ultimately we're a people that really care about one another. Some of us don't talk to each other as much, but at the end of the day, we're a human race. Like we all want to be loved, and we all have a desire to love other people deep down. And I've seen that happen time and time again in the gaming community, especially our community. And when people like bash video games and people who play video games, man, it hurts. It hurts, man. It hurts me, because I'm just like, man, if you if you've ever known someone that, listen, and I'll back up and say this. Around where I live, or at least within my bubble, there's not a lot of people that play video games. I know two at work that play, and I'm thankful for that because we get to talk about video games and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily play with them when I get home. Of course I have the troubleshooters that I play with, and that's enough. Shout out to the troubleshooters. I love playing with them. But like, as far as people like in real life, as we say, IRL, there's not any people really that I can really talk to about gaming like that. Of course I got friends, but not friends that game. And it's always a good thing when you can, it's a special thing when you can play games with people IRL and people that you can hang out with and enjoy being around and play games and talk about them and stuff like that. And I think a lot of us are in that situation. And when you're that kind of person where you're just looking for friends online to play games with, and you find that special group of people to play, or even that special person to play games with, especially if you can be a part of a community that plays games and people, finally, like, it's like a big family. It's like a big community. It's different, even more different than, IRL friends, because it's easy to get together. You don't have to leave your house. You can just hop on and meet up with friends you care about and play. For intensive purposes, like you find yourself forming a family online, and when you spend time with them day in and day out, it's almost as if, they become your family. And when someone comes out and says, hey, video games are bad or for children or something like that, it offends me, because I'm like, listen, you talk about my hobby and my family as if it's nothing, and it means a lot to me. You don't know the amount of, I'll take it to the troubleshooters. Like, we don't always joke and play around. Like, sometimes we have very serious conversations, and like serious conversations, like personal life conversations in that group. And I appreciate that so much because they listen. I know I've talked about a few things personally in that group, and I became very vulnerable. I put myself in a vulnerable position when I talk to them sometimes, and they listen and they give me feedback, true feedback and friendly feedback. I mean, we love each other as a group. You know what I mean? And you can't necessarily do that with anybody in real life. It's weird. It's a great way to be vulnerable and be confidential at the same time. But that vulnerability only comes from being really close to the people that you're talking to. You become a family. And when people bring up the fact that they don't like video games, and that's fine. But when they trash people that do, that's a problem. That's a problem. So not only play games, but love the people that you play games with. Appreciate them, because not a lot of people have that. I know it took me a long time to really find a good group, a solid group to play games with, and I'm not saying that other people I play games with are bad people, but this is easily the most genuine group I've ever been a part of in the troubleshooters. And if you could find something like that, I think that it would help you tremendously. It'll just improve your your way of life almost. It'll just, it'll help you in ways that you wouldn't even believe. So be searching for that if you don't have it already. And if you do have it, cherish it. Hold on to it, because not everyone has that. I didn't have that for a while. Personally, before I found the troubleshooters, there was a long period of time where it was just me. And it sucked. It sucked. I can't imagine losing the troubleshooters and just playing games for myself. Like, I know some people like don't mind that, but for me, I can't do that. I can't. I'm a multiplayer guy, and I gotta have a team of people with me. I gotta have friends with me playing, or else it's no point. Like, I hate playing games like Halo and Call of Duty and stuff like that by myself in a lobby full of randos. I hate that so much. But even more than that, I can't talk to nobody after that. It's a wrap, because my wife doesn't play. You know what I mean? And I don't have, like I said, I don't have a lot of people IRL to talk to about it. So that's it. So I can't imagine playing games in this day and age without a solid group online or something like that to play with. So, like I said before, if you have that, hold on to it, man. Cherish it. And if you don't, you'll find that group. You will find that group. There's so many Discords out there. A lot of people in Discords, they just go in there and just talk about random stuff and don't play games. But there are games, or there are Discords that do play games, right? If you follow me on Twitter, AWEDIBLE, there's a lot of people I follow and a lot of people that follow me that have very solid Discords. Disrespect the Podcast has a Discord that really is active in video game playing. So that's one place I can direct you to, that I can guarantee you'll find a group of people that will play a game that you want to play that's multiplayer. Shout out to them. Shout out to the troubleshooters. So I think I'm going to end this podcast. It's been 1 hour. But I just wanted to put some things out. I do have more thoughts, but I wanted to end this podcast so I can have content for the next podcast. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I made this extra long. Pause. I made this episode extra long for you guys to really enjoy. And I hope that you did. Please hit me up on Twitch, AWEDIBLE_gaming. And you can follow me on Twitter, AWEDIBLE as well. And yeah, we out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.